Let us begin. Everybody go ahead and put your mute on. You've done that. Okay, we're ready to get started then. So in every yoga class, there is something that we are trying to do. Usually a bunch of things we're trying to do. If it's a physical practice, we're always trying to strengthen and also create mobility in our bodies. If your yoga class is a hot yoga vinyasa, then you are trying to move your body a lot, and hot yoga people say you're sweating out impurities. If your yoga practice is a very relaxing, say, yin practice or even yoga nidra, then you're trying to come into this deep state of relaxation. But in every yoga practice, no matter what it's titled or what happens in the practice, we are always trying to practice awareness, practice being present. So that's what we're going to do today. The writer Maya Angelou said, this is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before. So you've seen all the poses before. You might have even done all the poses before, but can we approach them in a way with deep awareness and deep presence so that we actually pay attention to not just what's happening in our body and where we're placing our bodies, but we're also paying attention to what these poses elicit for us in our mood, what comes up in our minds when your teacher utters certain names of poses or certain phrases. So today is about deep awareness. We're going to focus this deep awareness on the from about just below your chest down to your waistline. So we're going to have a series of twists that we're going to do and a series of other poses that we will repeat in different ways to bring awareness to this part of our body that can be pretty stationary. It's a part of the body that not a lot of people have aches and pains in, depending on, you know, how you spend your days. So we'll bring awareness to this part that we're not as focused on, and we'll focus on awareness. So let's start that practice right now, finding a comfortable seat and closing our eyes. Make your commitment to attempt to be deeply aware, deeply present in every pose. Start now by being aware of how your body feels this morning. Start by being aware of the mood that you're in. So there's no judgment there. We all show up on our mats, bringing different things to the mat with us, but just being aware helps open up new vistas to us. This is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And just notice, be aware of your breath. We'll take one cleansing breath together. So let's all take a big inhale through our noses. And then a long exhale through our mouths. Return to your natural breath. And just notice if that one cleansing breath changed anything for you. Reaffirm your commitment to be present in as much of the practice as you can be today. And then release your hands down, lift your head up, lift your heart up, and then open your eyes. All right, we're going to start in a quadruped position on our mats or all fours. If you want to play music, now's the time to press or tap play on that. I made a playlist if you want to join. Find me on Spotify, EDYM428. There will be a virtual yoga folder, and we're all the way up to virtual yoga 9/8. So make sure your wrists are right underneath your shoulders and your knees are right underneath your hips. Take just a couple of regular breaths here. And then on your next exhale, take cat pose, focusing on that mid back, really lifting it up towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, lower down into cow pose. Pull your shoulder blades down the back and bring your chest forward to bring that feeling more into the mid back between cat and cow. And take 2 more rounds. Here we are on all fours. Step your right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. And then as you inhale, take your left arm up towards the ceiling. So you're twisting open here. And in this open twist, just notice what you feel. And then as you exhale, we're going to twist down. Take your left hand around, wrap it around the outside of your right thigh, and try to twist down a little bit more, drawing your left shoulder down towards the floor. Notice what you feel here. And then inhale, lift back up, take that left arm up, twisting open. And then exhale, twist closed. Wrap your left hand around the outside of your right leg. Dip your left shoulder down towards the floor. One more time, inhale, lift open, stretch your arm up. And then exhale, go down, reach your hand across, lower. And then place your left hand back down on the floor. Step your right leg back to hip height. So we're gonna lift it all the way back. Get strong into your belly, strong into your core. Stretch your left arm out in front. Stay strong in that belly. Exhale, knee and elbow come together or past each other. Inhale, stretch forward and back. 2 more times. Exhale, pull in, hugging the belly in. Inhale, stretch forward and back. And then 1 more. Pull in as you exhale. As you inhale, stretch the arm out, stretch the leg out, and then lower your hand, lower your knee. Exhale, cat pose, awareness into that mid back. Inhale, cow pose. And then come into neutral. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. As you inhale, twist open, take your right arm up to the ceiling, look up past your hand. Lift, notice where you feel this open twist, and then exhale, lower down, reach your right hand around, grab the outside of your left thigh, lower your right shoulder down towards the ground. Notice what you feel here. And then 2 more rounds. Inhale, twist open. Exhale, twist closed. Inhale, twist open. Exhale, twist closed. And then place your right hand down on the mat. Reach your left leg back to hip height, straight behind you, and then reach your right arm straight out in front. On an exhale, bring your knee and elbow together. Inhale, stretch forward and back. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. 1 more time, pull it in. And then inhale, stretch out, lower your hand, lower your knee. On your exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up into the air. And then just move around a little bit here in your downward dog, inviting an openness into your back body. So you can walk your dog out a little bit by bending your knees. You can shift your hips a little bit side to side. And then when you feel a little bit more comfortable in your downward dog, put a little bend into your knees. And we're gonna shift the hips over to the right. So your heels will probably shift to the right too, but keep those knees bent and really reach the hips over, press down into the left hand, and notice what's happening through that left side body from around your ribs down to your waistline. And then inhale to the middle. Keep the knees bent in your downward dog. Exhale, shift the hips over to the left. Heels will probably go left too. Really push down into that right hand. And then just notice, be aware, be present with what you're feeling in your body. Inhale to the middle. We'll go a little faster now. Keeping the knees bent. Take your hips to the right. Inhale, middle. Exhale, left. Inhale, middle. Exhale, right. Last time here. Inhale, middle. Exhale, left. Inhale to the middle. And then finally, straighten the legs out. Take a big inhale through your nose. And then a big exhale through your mouth. Start walking your feet to the top of your mat. And we'll stand in forward bend here. Let your head hang down and then just move it around a little bit so you can start loosening up the muscles around your neck. Lift your hands off the ground if they're on the ground and make fists and roll your wrists around in one direction. And then roll them around in the other direction. And then hands to your hips. As you inhale, rise to stand upright, and then bring your hands to your heart. So we'll return to this pose, mountain pose, again and again. And each time we come here, try to remember what we're doing in our practice today. Deep intention to be aware in every pose, every movement, every breath. On your inhale, reach your arms to the sky. On your exhale, fold down to forward bend. Inhale, lengthen forward halfway, and then fold back in. So just notice how the backs of your legs feel here in this forward bend, and then take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Lift the tops of the shoulders away from the floor just a little bit so you engage in the shoulder girdle, and then start to bring your hands away from your back. Notice now what's happening in the backs of your legs as you've got weight pulling down a little bit through the torso because the arms have moved away from the back. Notice what's happening in your shoulders. And then release your hands down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen forward. On your exhale, downward facing dog. Step your feet to the back of the mat. As your breath turns to inhale, glide forward into plank. And as your breath turns to exhale, lower down, chaturanga. And then inhale, cobra, tops of the feet on the floor. Lift the heart forward. We're going to pause in this cobra right here, no matter how high or low you are. See if you can draw the shoulder blades down the back and bring the heart forward, bringing more awareness to this thoracic spine, opening it up, and then exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your right leg back and up behind you. And on an exhale, lunge your right foot to the top of your mat. Come up to warrior two. So we're going to work on strengthening and lengthening our side bodies here as we go back and forth between side angle pose or variation of side angle pose and reverse warrior. So on your exhale, lean out over your right leg and reach that right hand back towards the left hip and reach your left arm over your left ear. Inhale, up to warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Reach your left hand towards your right hip and reach your right hand back. Inhale, up to warrior two. Two more times to go through that. Exhale, side angle, variation. Inhale, up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Keep your awareness on those side bodies. One more time, side angle. And up, and one more time, reverse. And up to warrior two. So take your gaze out past your front hand. Find your warrior two here. Turn your palms up. And as you inhale, straighten the front leg. Touch the fingertips up overhead and bring your gaze up. Try to pull energy from your feet, from your legs, up through your core and out through your hands. Exhale, lower back down to warrior two. Inhale, pull everything back up. One more time, lower down. Notice what it feels like to get low. And then inhale, lift up through those side bodies, lower back down to your warrior two, and then spin your hands down to the floor, lift the back heel off the mat. On your exhale, straighten the front leg, fold over it. Inhale, bend your knee, look forward. Exhale, straighten and fold. Awareness on the back of your leg or whatever sensation you have in your body. Bend your knee. One more time. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, bend your knee, step back, one leg, downward dog, right leg lifts to the sky behind you. You have an option here for a one leg vinyasa, or you can put both feet on the ground and flow, or hold your downward dog. But whatever you choose to do, choose to be aware in each pose. Second side, inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Exhale, lunge your foot to the top of your mat. Come up to warrior two. So find your steady warrior here. And then side angle pose. As you exhale, lean over that left leg, reach the right arm over your ear. Inhale up to warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Two more times. Inhale up, exhale, side angle. Inhale up, exhale, reverse. Inhale, exhale, side angle, awareness into your side body. Inhale up, exhale, reverse. Inhale, come up to your warrior two and get a little steadier here, maybe a little bit lower. Gaze out past your front hand and then turn your palms up. Inhale, straighten the front leg, touch your fingertips overhead, look up, exhale, lower down. Two more times. Inhale, lift, side bodies lengthen, exhale, lower. Once more, inhale, get high, and then exhale, go down to warrior two. Spin your hands down to the ground, lift the back heel up, and then straighten your front leg, fold into it. Inhale, bend your knee, look forward, bring your chest forward. Two more times like this. When you fold forward, just notice maybe what that does to your mood to fold in. And when you bring your chest forward with the bent knee, notice what that feels like. And then one leg dog, left leg is the leg that lifts to the sky, one leg vinyasa or two leg flow. Be sure not to take these poses in the flow for granted. You do them a lot. So try to be with each pose, each breath, each movement, each transition. From downward dog, bring your feet to the top of your mat. Fold down over your legs. And then inhale, lift up, touch your palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. So let's keep the hands at the heart here, but flare the elbows out to the sides. Chair pose, take your hips down and back, hands are still at the heart, elbows are flared, hug your belly in. We're gonna try to rotate around that mid-spine. Take a breath in. As you exhale, twist to the right. So point that right elbow back behind you. Inhale to the middle. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, middle. Again to the right. Using your core to twist around. Inhale, middle. Exhale to the left. Inhale, middle. One more time to the right. And the middle. And one more time to the left. And the middle. Lower your hips down a little bit more. Take your arms up overhead. Take your gaze up. And then exhale, forward bend. Straighten the legs. Fold over them. Inhale, lengthen out. And now take your vinyasa. Stepping back or jumping back and flowing through. Again, deep awareness of every pose, every transition. From downward dog, walk your hands to the back of your mat. and stand in forward bend here. Wrap your index and long fingers around your big toes. And then shift your weight over into your left foot. You might put a tiny bend into that left knee. As you inhale, take the right leg out to the right, lifting it out to the side, and then lower it back down to the mat. Shift your weight into your right foot, tiny bend into the right knee. As you inhale, take the left leg out to the left, and then lower it back down to the mat. Release your fingers from around your big toes. And inhale, rise up to stand, both arms up overhead. We're gonna keep those arms lifted up overhead. As you exhale, step your left foot about halfway forward on your mat. Come into warrior three. You can take any variation with your hands that you like here. On your inhale, lift up, arms up overhead. Lift your right knee to hip height. And now eagle pose. Put a bend into your standing knee. Cross the right leg over, and then bring your arms down, crossing your right arm under your left arm and bringing your palms together. On an exhale, hug knees and elbows towards one another, pulling in. And then as you inhale, rise back up, still standing on your left foot, arms up overhead, right knee to hip height. On your exhale, step that right foot at the front center of your mat. Half moon pose. So right fingers out in front of that right foot, left fingers up to the sky, roll the left side body open. So twisting to that open side, reach back through your foot. And then on an exhale, lower your left fingertips to the ground. So you should eventually have all 10 fingertips to the ground in grounded warrior three. So pull that front of the left hip down towards the floor, still reaching back through the left leg. So do you remember the knee and elbow that we did on hands and knees? We're gonna do that here from this grounded warrior three. So stretch your right arm out in front. On an exhale, pull right elbow and left knee together. Inhale, stretch back out, take your gaze forward, take your chest forward. Two more, exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. One more time, exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. Lower your right fingers back to the floor. We're gonna come to a seat in Ardha Matsya Andrasana 1. So bend your right knee a little bit, tuck your left knee to the outside of the right leg, and then lower your hips down to the ground. There we go. Take your left hand behind your right arm. Oh, sorry, I got that wrong. Take your right hand down, left arm up, and as you exhale, twist around to the right. So before you get too deep into your twist, take a pause. Inhale to lengthen up, and then exhale, rotate a little bit more. Look back over your right shoulder. And then inhale, release. We'll go to a wide leg standing forward bend. Take your hands out in front of the left long side of your mat, and then step your left foot to the back of your mat. There you go. 8 side lunges. So take your time with these. This is 8 total, 4 each side. And just notice what you feel as you move into the side lunge, what you feel as you move out of it. Notice that the 2 sides feel different. When you finished your 8, fold in a little bit more here. Hands can go anywhere you'd like them to be to help you fold in a little bit more. And then walk your hands around to the front of your mat, returning to lunge. So right foot is in front, right toes are pointing straight ahead. And then bring your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Standing forward bend. And from here, chair pose. Lower the hips down, lift the arms, lift the heart, and then straighten the legs, stand all the way up. A little standing back bend here. So to prepare for the back bend, get strong into your feet, your legs, and your core, and then see if you can get that upper back, mid back to upper back to bend. And then inhale, back upright, exhale, hands to your heart. Second side starts with chair pose. We're gonna keep the hands at the heart and the elbows flared out. We'll work on those twists. This is really a core builder here with the twists. As you exhale, twist around to the left. Inhale to the center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left, or whatever your first side was. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. One more time to the left. And inhale, and one more time to the right. And inhale, get your hips a little lower now, and then stretch your arms up overhead. Take your gaze up, and then exhale, forward bend. Straighten the legs, fold over them. Inhale, lengthen your spine out. Take your vinyasa here, jumping back or stepping back. Being with each breath, each movement, each transition. From downward dog, walk your hands to the back of your mat. Wrap your index and long fingers around your big toes. Shift your weight over into your right foot. Put a little bend into that right knee. Hug your belly in, and then take your left leg out to the left, out to the side, and then lower it back down. Shift your weight into your left foot. Tiny bend into the left knee. And then as you inhale, take your right leg out to the right. And then exhale, lower it back down. Release your fingers. Stand in the forward bend. Release your neck a little bit here. And then inhale, rise up to stand. Arms up overhead. So your arms are going to stay lifted here. Shift your weight into your left foot. Step your right foot about halfway forward on your mat for warrior three. Hands can be out in front. They can be at your heart. They can be back in an airplane pose. And then as you inhale, stand up, still balancing on the right foot. Arms up overhead. Bring the left knee up to hip height. Stand tall here. And then eagle pose. Bend your standing knee a little bit. Wrap the left leg over, and as you bring your arms down, wrap the left arm under, palms are touching, or that's not working, backs of the hands press into each other. On your exhale, lower down and squeeze in. On your inhale, lift back up, unwinding the arms up overhead, lifting your left knee to hip height. And now, half moon pose. Step that left foot to the front center of your mat, and then cartwheel forward, left fingers coming down to the ground, right fingers coming up overhead. Reach out in all directions. Bring a little awareness into even that left side body and see if you can lengthen it a little bit more. And then grounded warrior three. So bring those right fingers down to the ground, all 10 fingertips on blocks or on the ground. Right kneecap and toes are pointing down towards the floor. And we'll do that elbow and knee connection here. So keep the right leg where it is. Stretch the left arm out in front. And as you exhale, knee and elbow come together. Hug the belly in. Inhale, stretch forward and back. Two more. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, stretch forward and back. One more, pull it in. And then reach out. Lower your left fingers to the ground. Bend your left knee a little bit. Tuck the bent right knee to the outside of the left leg and lower your hips down for Ardha Matsyendrasana 1, seated twist. Take your left hand behind, right arm up. Sit tall here. The more length you have, especially in that mid spine, the more twisty you'll get here. As you exhale, twist around to the left, right arm comes down to support you, either around your leg or wrapping around. Lengthen and twist. Look back over your left shoulder. And then inhale, release your twist. Take your hands all the way around in front of the long right side of your mat and step your right foot to the back of your mat, coming into a wide leg forward bend. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, hug your belly in. Look down at the floor and place your left hand on the floor or on a block about underneath your nose. Take your right hand around to your low back. We want to try to keep the hips stable here as we twist. So inhale, lengthen forward, and as you exhale, twist around, lifting up your right shoulder and then your right hand up to the sky. Notice what you're feeling in your side bodies. Instead of letting the belly relax here, you really want to pull it in to support your body, your torso, as you twist it. And then inhale, release, second side. Right fingers will plant, left hand will come around to the low back to start. Lengthen the spine on an inhale, and then as you exhale, lift up your side body, and then maybe lift your arm up into the air. Twisting around, really bringing that awareness into your torso, being aware how that feels, using your core to help you twist. You're looking beautiful. And then inhale, release, hand down to the mat, and then just go a little deeper into your forward bend here. Walk your hands to the front of your mat, coming into lunge, left foot, left toes point to the front of your mat. And then you're gonna step your right foot forward to meet your left foot, standing forward bend, and then chair pose. Take the hips down a notch more, maybe lift the heart up a notch more, getting that extra length into the side bodies, using the muscles that fan across the upper and mid back to lift you into the back bend and chair, and then stand upright. Strong legs, strong core, a little squeeze into the glutes, and then you can back bend here. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Moving on to a new flow now. It too starts with chair. So find your chair pose here, and then bring your hands to your heart. We're gonna twist now to the right. Bring your left arm across, hook it on the outside of the right leg. Find your twist. Put your weight into your right foot. Lift the left heel up towards your hip, and then stretch the left leg towards the back of your mat, and then lower the ball of the foot down. Go just a little bit deeper into your twist here, rotating around. And then inhale, release. Hands down either side of the front leg, and then straighten the front leg and fold over it. We've done this pose already several times, 3 times on this side, but we're gonna hold here for a couple of breaths, just being with the sensation on the back of the leg, being present here. And then bend back into your right knee. One leg dog, so right leg lifts back and up behind you. From here, with that right leg lifted, gaze up towards the front of your mat and see if you can lift the left hand off the ground. Knee and elbow come together here. Exhale, hug your right knee and left elbow together. Inhale, stretch out. If you need to lower your left knee to the ground, you can. Exhale, knee and elbow come together. Inhale, stretch back out. One more time, knee and elbow together. Inhale, stretch out. Lower your hand to the ground. See if you can lift your right leg up a little bit more. And then as you exhale, pull your knee in again. Shoot your right foot over to the left. And then lift your left hand up. Open up, twisting to the open side here. Strong into the feet. And then exhale, hand back down, one leg dog. Take your right leg back and up behind you. And then on an exhale, lunge it to the front of your mat. So make your lunge a little bit shorter here. Lower your back heel to the ground and then straighten your right leg. Square your hips up by pulling your right hip back and your left hip a little bit forward. And then we'll take Revolved Triangle pose. So try to keep a micro bend into your right knee. Work the left hand closer to the right foot. Maybe you even get your hand to the outside of your foot and brace your forearm and your shin together, and then twist around to the right, lifting the right side body up, right shoulder, right hand. Maybe your gaze goes up past your hand. And then inhale, release, hands down to the mat. One leg dog, lift your right leg back and up. One leg vinyasa, if you're feeling that now. All right, bring your feet to the top of your mat, walk, step, or hop up. And then chair pose, lower the hips, lift up. You know we won't be here long, but can you be present for just these few seconds that we're here? And then stand all the way up. Standing back bend, if you want support at your low back, place your hands on your low back. And then inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take a moment here just to notice not just your body, but also what's happening in your mind and in your heart. Try to stay with each breath, each movement. And we'll move on to the second side, which starts with chair. So lower your hips and lift your heart and hands. Exhale, hands to your heart. Twist to the left now. Bring your right arm across. Be with the twist. Notice what it feels like, especially in the mid and upper back. Shift your weight into your left foot. Lift your right foot off the ground and stretch it towards the back of your mat, eventually lowering the ball of your foot down to the ground. Maybe go a little bit deeper into your twist here. And then inhale and release. Hands down to the ground. Let's straighten that front leg and fold over it. So we'll stay here several breaths. For those of you who love movement, it's very hard to be present when we get still. So really try here to be with the sensation in your body. And then bend back into your knee. We're gonna go for one leg dog. So it's your left leg that lifts back and up. And here we're gonna go for that knee and elbow together. So it's your left leg and right arm. Maybe you lift part of your right hand off the ground, maybe all of it. Exhale, knee and elbow together. Inhale, stretch forward and back. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. We got one more. Pull it in. Inhale, reach out. Lower your hand to the ground. And then pull your left knee in and then shoot your left foot over to the right. Lower your back heel down, lift up your right arm, twist open. See if you can revolve around through that upper back a little bit more. And then exhale, hand back down to the mat. One leg dog. Lift the leg up and then plant your foot at the top of your mat. Bring the back foot in. For most of us, it's going to be about an inch. just to shorten up the lunge, spin the back heel down and straighten the front leg. Before we go into the twist for Revolve Triangle, square the hips up, pull the left outer hip back, pull the right hip forward, and maybe the front of the right hip even lowers down towards the floor a little bit. Start working your right hand closer to your left foot, maybe even on the outside so you can get that brace of forearm and shin to one another. And then twist around to the left, rotating around through the rib cage. Each inhale gets you longer in the side bodies. Each exhale twists more. You got it. And then inhale, release, hands down to the mat. One leg dog, left leg lifts. One more vinyasa here if you want it. One leg, two leg, your choice. We'll meet in a child's pose when you're done with the vinyasa. Once you landed in your child's pose, take a few breaths just to let out any energy you might have been holding back as we were flowing, as we were balancing, as we were twisting. And then make your way to downward dog. Take a deep inhale through your nose, big exhale through your mouth, and then lower your knees to the mat. So I'm going to show you an arm balance that we've been building up to. It's got a lot of the balance components we've been working on, some of the core components, and some of that twisting through the mid and upper spine. So we'll start in revolved crow pose and then maybe move that into a second arm balance called Ekapada Kundanyasana 1. I'm going to show you one way to get into it, and then we will see how it goes. So we'll start, watch me, and then we'll all do it together. We'll start with our feet together and kneeling down here. If this doesn't work for your knees, I have another option for you. I'll show you in a moment. So we'll face alongside of the mat and then twist over towards the front of the mat. So the twist is really key here. You twist and fold in. Try to get the arm that's closer to your knees in so you can get your leg high up on your arm. If your leg comes just above your elbow, you're still going to be okay. It's just a little bit harder. The more you can twist and get low, the easier the pose will be. Then you'll plant your hands, fingers pointing towards the front of your mat, and then start taking your chest forward. So you take your gaze forward, lean forward, and then maybe you lift one foot off the ground, maybe even the other foot lifts. If you get here, then you stretch your bottom leg straight and your top leg back behind you. I'm going to talk you through the whole thing. So let's do it together. Let's start facing the right long side of the mat. Feet together, and you come down low. If this isn't working for your knees, you're going to be more in a revolved chair pose. If your knees are low, then you start working that twist. If you're higher in the revolved chair pose, you work the twist. Twist is key here. If you're low, your hands are on the ground pointing towards the front of your mat. If you're higher, then you're going to reach your hands down and then bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands onto the ground. Now, the key is to look forward, lean forward, pull the belly in and up, glide forward. Maybe you can lift one foot, maybe both feet lift off. Yep, so that's the revolved crow. If you're comfortable there, stretch your top leg. Just think about straightening your legs. Your top leg will reach back behind you. Your bottom knee will just open up. How did that feel? Yeah. All right, we'll try the second side. So on the second side, you'll face the left long side of your mat with your feet together. If you can come all the way down into the squat, if your knees and ankles go for that, come on down and start working the twist, trying to get your left arm down. If you're higher up, you're in chair, and then you revolve around towards the front of your mat, eventually straightening the arms, lowering the knees. And then once you get the hands on the ground, you lean forward. Think about really reaching your shoulders forward. You push off with the feet a little bit, not so much that you pile drive your face into the ground, but you push off, leaning forward. Maybe just try one foot off the ground. You really grip the floor with your fingers. Maybe the other foot comes off as well. And then you reach your top leg back behind you and you straighten your bottom leg. Those are two different arm balances. One flows into the next. There you go. You got it. Good job. Good job. All right. Make fists, roll your wrists around. One direction a few times, the other direction a few times. And then shake your hands out. All right, we're going to take a moment here to invert. So I'm going to do a headstand. You're welcome to come into any inversion. I saw some of you were headstanding while we were arm balancing. So if you've had enough of your inversion, you're going to come onto your back. You're going to take a forward folding seat. Otherwise, you can take any inversion that you like. I'll talk you through headstand, but you can also do shoulder stand, legs up the wall, handstand, whatever feels good. So for the tripod headstand or headstand 2, you put your hands about shoulder width distance apart. They don't need to be wider. It's gonna, if you get your hands wide, I know it initially feels more stable, but you have to use a lot more muscle energy than if you bring your hands in just about shoulder width distance apart. And then bring your head to the ground. So instead of rolling onto the very top of your head, you want to roll more towards your hairline, towards your forehead. Plug your upper arms into the shoulder sockets and think about flexing the fan of muscles across your upper back. Hug your belly in, tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, and then start walking your feet in just a little bit. Lift one leg into the air, and the more you lift that one leg and reach it up for the sky, the other leg will begin to lift, maybe bringing the legs together overhead. Once you're there, whatever your inversion is, see if you can be with it for a few breaths, a few moments, just noticing what it feels like to change your perspective from upright, which is how we are most of the time, to upside down, which is how most of us are not most of the time. When you're ready, start to gently bring your legs down. Yeah. And then eventually we'll all meet in a seat on our mats, stretching the legs out in front. If you're still upside down or making your way down, be mindful, take your time coming out. With the legs out in front, we're going to keep the right leg as it is and then the left knee out to the side, sole of the left foot on the inside of the right leg, right hand behind, left arm up. So I like to push down into the arm that's behind. I even sort of push that arm into my rib cage right here to help me sit up a little bit taller instead of sinking in. Lengthen and then exhale, fold out over your right leg. Once you're in that fold with a little bit of a twist, then you can bring your other hand wherever you like, out to the side to help you with the twist. Or reach the right hand out and grab onto your leg or your foot. As we've gotten into the part of the practice where we hold the poses for a longer period of time, excuse me, we don't have as much movement. So as we slow down, it's our responsibility to be present with what we feel here. And then inhale, lift up. Stretch out your left leg, maybe bounce that knee out a couple of times, and we'll switch sides. Keep the left leg straight, bend the right knee out to the side, sole of the right foot along the left inner leg. Take your left arm behind, and even as you straighten that arm, pull it into your rib cage to help you sit taller. Take your right arm up, and then as you exhale, twist and fold out over your left leg. Once you've landed in your forward bend, you can move that left arm around wherever you like to help you with twisting and folding. And then just be with your breath here. Notice how in this pose that mid back feels. And then inhale, lift up and straighten out your right leg, bounce it out a couple of times, and then we'll come onto our backs. So as you come down, hug your knees in, take a few side to side rocks, and then circle your knees around. So you're trying to circle around that triangular shaped sacrum at the bottom of your spine. Circle in the other direction a few times. And then stretch your legs out on your mat. It's time for corpse pose, Shavasana. So take your time finding your pose, put on a shirt or socks or whatever you need to keep yourself comfortable here. And once again, we'll take the cleansing breath, this time 3 of them. So these are on your own. Deep inhale through the nose and then big long exhale through the mouth, letting your breath out, letting go of the effort that you put into the practice so that your body can really sink, your body can really settle, and hopefully your mind will settle as your body does, forming that connection of mind, body, and heart as you move into your corpse pose, and then return to just natural breaths. Try not to dam that breath up anywhere. Let the breath flow freely in and out. Begin to deepen your breath again. Longer inhales and longer exhales now. And let that breath begin to awaken your body. Begin to gently move wherever you feel called to move. This could be hands and feet. It could be maybe turning your head side to side. It could be very gentle blinking of the eyes. As you're ready, stretch your arms overhead, point your toes in the opposite direction, lengthen out. And then roll to your right side and come up to a seat. Join your hands together at your heart and take a moment to just be aware of how you feel now. We began our practice in this pose, and we end in this pose, having practiced great awareness, not just of our bodies, but also minds and hearts. I hope you can take this deep awareness with you through everything that you do today. And let's take all of this deep awareness that we've cultivated and join it together to send it out to those in need today. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.